At Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Finance, we are the future of crypto.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Live. Tonight, we got a special guest joining us. If you haven't been living under a rock lately and you've been anywhere near the Pulsechain ecosystem, you know it's all about the Pdai, the Atropa, and the degeneracy that's been going on. What's up, Zach? How's it going, bro?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good. Excited to have you on and talk about obviously the most exciting thing going on Pulsechain right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, no, this is just wild, honestly. In the last few days, just gets even more crazy, I guess. But yeah, no, thank you for bringing me on here. I'm excited to talk about Atropa, Pdai, and even Pulse Reflections. I'm excited to get to that too. A lot of cool improvements happening there.
Yeah, and we could probably maybe set it straight right now that Zach is not the founder of Pulse Reflections.
That's right.
I was under the impression that he was, and he's just assumed the role of admin and I guess community leader. So
that's right. Yeah. So I mean, PRS is my baby now. I accept it. You know, if people want to think I'm the founder, that's fine. But I'm definitely not smart enough to create a smart contract of this magnitude. But yeah, honestly, it's a great project that I found. I was super lucky. But yeah, we don't know who the dev is, kind of just like the Atropa ecosystem, completely anonymous dev that we'll never know. He's passed off the token to the community, basically. It's completely community driven and managed, marketed. We raised donations for marketing and things like that. So yeah, there's no dev involvement whatsoever. So yeah, it's just another community driven project like Atropa and the others that I'm really fond of.
Yeah, that's really cool. And that I like that with the anonymous devs. Like that was a big problem, or not a big problem, but I think it was a red flag last cycle. Like finding a good team and a non-docs team was a problem. If you had avatars that were just random people, you know, that was I don't know. But now with all the pressure that the SEC is bringing across all of crypto, the pressure on Richard Hart. You know, if I was a developer, I might not want to have my name behind a certain project. It saves potential headache, and then it leaves the door open for like what you're doing to kind of come in, find something you like, and assume the role of like admin, community leader, and then let people take over. I think that was kind of Richard's goal with Pulsechain, to build the infrastructure and like the foundation for people to come and take it to the next level.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of the main reasons why I thought this was a pretty special project, was because a lot of the ethos, I guess, behind, you know, what their idea was for this project is very similar to what, you know, RH had in mind, I guess.
Yeah. And for you guys that don't know how the these reflection tokens work, there's a tax when you buy and sell the coin, and a little bit of that gets put off to the side and it gets redistributed to the holder. So I love it because it basically reimburses you for all the gas that you use during the day on your transactions.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, not just the gas, but even more so. There's people in our community, you know, maybe some early guys that got a lot of tokens, whatever, but some people are earning even $100 a day right now.
That's awesome. I wish I was.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's definitely something to take a look at for sure if people aren't aware. Another cool thing about the whole reflections model, though, is like most other reflection tokens, similar to like SafeMoon or maybe RFI, like the OG of reflections, you know, from Ethereum. Those tokens, they usually reflect like the same token, right? So when you buy into something, you're getting the reflection in that same token, right? So with PRS, right, you buy into PRS, you hold it, but you are going to actually receive PLS. And the beauty about that is like now you have the ability to go basically buy any token on Pulsechain that you want with that free money, right? So you can just let it build up a little bit, and then go buy your favorite token that you're trying to hold, I guess. And you can do that, or you can hold the PLS for the long-term gains. You know, we all know where that's going to go in the future, right? Well, at least we're all hopeful for where it's going to go. But yeah, the beauty of it is like, you know, you're not going to get this reflection in PRS, which if you had to, you know, probably if you had to make some profit from that, you'd have to sell something, right? So instead of selling your PRS, which would, you know, hurt the chart, we're giving you another asset that you can go do what you want with, right? That's not going to hurt the chart. And, you know, if you're going to hold your PRS, then we're only just going to go up over time.
Yeah. And I like that what you said too. And this, like for me, when I found it about over a month ago, wow, time is flying.
Yeah.
It was a great way to prevent myself from just bleeding out in Pulsechain. If I looked at the chart and said, all right, even if this thing just chops sideways, I'll be doing better than holding Pulsechain. It was at, I think, around 4,400 when I bought into PRS, and it dipped all the way down. It lost 1,000 points on that. And all this PRS that I swapped into from Pulsechain, it gained value, paid me Pulsechain. And it was great. I wish I had put more in at the time. And it was a great hedge against just getting wrecked.
Yeah. And then we did have a nice run up, you know, I mean, I was shouting it from the rooftops for a while to everybody, but a lot of people were like you know, like, oh, I bought a little bit, but I wish I would have bought a lot more before the big run up. But, you know, and that's not a big issue, right? So like the way that I see it, you know, we're only at like a 1.2 or 1.3 million market cap right now, right? You think about big projects on Ethereum, right? So, I mean, SafeMoon is like one of the biggest reflection coins, right? That was on Ethereum during the last bull run. They made it to like 4 billion market cap, right? Or 5 or something like that, something crazy. I mean, in my mind, if Pulsechain gets its adoption, it sees like a nice bull run like it should. I don't see any reason why Pulse Reflections couldn't be at $1 billion market cap. Just based on, you know, how we're going to grow with all these different communities, right? And over time, you know, the rewards are going to get nicer, the volume's going to go up, and just people are going to get generally more excited about the whole thing. You know, and like with having no admin keys, not really much of a chance of a rug. The dev only holds 5% of all the tokens in existence. So, I mean, the spread is really nice. There's not like some team that holds 20% or something like that. So yeah, there's just a lot of positives that I see that really could, you know, make sure that we're on the right track for the future. Over $1 billion market cap, that's my goal. That's where I want to see Pulse Reflections be in the future. And I just don't think that that's a far out idea.
Yeah. And that's almost 1,000x from here.
Right.
So that's
yeah,
how
I'm still trying to tell people, you know, it's still early. It does look like this is like the ground floor for where we're at right now. We're not like dipping below 1 million market cap, really. It's kind of sitting really nice and steady right now, looking for its next leg up. No, thank you for taking a look at the chart, really, because you'll see for yourself.
Yeah. And yeah, it shot up, and it made a floor, and it's just slowly trended up and to the right. And even like with Hart's Law, you know, this has been a great way to save yourself from the Pulsechain debacle if you were able to do that. And then if Pulsechain starts to rip, it's going to drag the price of Pulse Reflections up if people start to move back into Pulsechain and get that FOMO. So I really like it as a hedge in both ways. And going down, it saves you. And then once it starts moving up, Pulse will drag it back up if it gets outperformed in the short term.
Yeah, and actually another cool thing would be, so our liquidity is actually split 50-50 basically. So half of it is right there. You'll see 50K in liquidity on the PLS side. We also have about 50K in liquidity with Atropa. So, I mean, Atropa is ripping, and I think that's one of the things that's helping out a bit. We're getting a lot of arbitrage between, you know, our Atropa pair and the PLS pair. So it's helping a lot with our volume. But yeah, you know, with the way that, you know, PLS is going to go, obviously with Hart's Law and everything, I mean, we're going to do as many X's as PLS is going to do in the future.
Yeah, I think potentially more, because with only $1 million market cap, and what Pulsechain's a 300 million-ish around there.
Right.
I mean, there's so much upside. And yeah, I like it. And you were also talking about, I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but the updates to how the reflections are going to work.
Yeah, so that's something that I definitely wanted to go into because it's like a new development, right? So somebody from the community has actually offered to help us. What we're going to do is create a bot that only sells, right? So it's not an arbitrage or anything like that. We're going to load it up with PRS and some PLS for gas. And so first of all, just kind of explain how the rewards work on PRS. So basically, every sell transaction triggers the rewards that sit in a pool, right? So every time there's a buy and a sell on our chart, 2% of the entire buy and sell gets put into a rewards pool. And so right now, that rewards pool is over $100,000 worth of PRS, right? So just imagine this side pool that just keeps building and building, full of PRS. And so every sell transaction, it triggers a small amount of this pool to be sold off for PLS and then distributed to all the holders, right? And I think right now that trigger is about $13. So every time there's a sell, there's also a sell for $13 or something around there in PRS that'll go and it'll distribute PLS after it sells to about 6 different wallets every time. And so the way that this bot's going to work is it's basically going to sell like 50 cents or $1 at a time. And it's going to happen about 200 or 300 times a day. And every time that happens, there's that $13 PRS that's sold for PLS. So basically, even on days where we have absolutely no volume, right? $0 in volume, this bot is going to be doing these little sells. And we'll basically have rewards given out to people that are holding PRS. That could be equivalent to, if we were having like $1 million in volume, a certain amount of rewards that you would get. Like we would be getting that same amount of reward volume or same amount of rewards, at least with no volume, just because of this bot. So with the added volume of people buying and selling, the rewards bot working in the background. The rewards are just going to be incredibly juicy going forward. That's not finished yet. They're working on a front end for me to be able to operate the bot. But once that's done, it's going to be really awesome. Honestly, I'm super excited to see like how many rewards people are getting after that.
Yeah. Would you almost kind of call that like the Atropa effect in a sense, like where the devs are kind of changing things? Because I'm seeing all around the ecosystem when you get a coin with Zen Classic, even once it got that Atropa pair, it's like it got some rocket fuel behind there, and all of a sudden the green candles just got a little bit bigger.
Yeah, so this is just going to be a way for like the PRS whales to give back to the community. There's a few guys that have been in since the early days, right? So me and a few others were in on day 1, 2, 3, first week. We're basically going to be supporting this bot, feeding it PRS to basically be sold off. It's going to benefit a ton of holders that are getting in early or that didn't get in early. And they may think that they don't have enough tokens to be able to get a lot of rewards, but that's kind of all going to change now that we have this bot coming up.
That's really cool because there are a lot for like the little guy. That pulse chain, that's what it's here for, to save you from the fees. If you don't have $100 to do a swap in a year, you're going to be over on this chain, and just rewards like that will, I think that really incentivizes certain people to come take a look when you can earn something, even if you only have a couple bucks. You're not forced to be a whale.
So yeah, just want everybody to know we got, there's $100,000 in the reward pool right now for PRS. So, I mean, that's over 8,000 transactions that we can do on this little robot, right? To be able to empty that out to give out to all the holders right now. But every day that pool just gets bigger and bigger, right? From all the buys and sells that happen on our chart. So, I mean, honestly, this is just something that can continue forever and ever as PRS grows. Super exciting.
Yeah, bro, I really like it. I like it. And it's kind of a reflection of, I think, where potentially Pulse Chain will be in another year if Richard stays silent. I mean, what are people prepared for him to be the next Satoshi potentially? If it doesn't go well with the SEC and he just kind of fades off in the background and community leaders start surfacing and people adopt like admin roles in these projects that have anonymous founders. And we really like this can be the ground up chain that's for the people that is actually decentralized. And we really could have a lot of marketing points in the next 6 months to a year when new people are coming in. Like that's when things are really going to change, when new money comes into crypto. And for the short term, I don't see that. I think it's people kind of just shifting around, moving around. But we got something exciting here, and these bots, I think, have the potential to kind of change where Pulsechain's going and change people's perceptions of kind of how these things work.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, and people's perceptions are changing all the time in this crypto landscape with all like the new Atropa tokens that are coming out, and like some of them with these weird abilities to mint as bond tokens and things that are just going crazy and that nobody can really understand or explain. It's a big learning experience right now in the Pulsechain crypto ecosystem for sure.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, on Teddy, that's one of the things that we were talking in the green room about the list of coins now and how there's over 50 coins that are paired now.
Yeah, I've got a long list here of a bunch of tokens that came out, since the very first one, Atropa, all the way to I think the newest one that came out is called Monet Money. So money, but Monet is spelled MONAT, like the painter, and then money. So money. Oh man, yeah, I don't know how to explain that.
I don't. Me neither. I mean, I guess it's part of the Pdai mystery. What the hell is going on? What is the end game of all this? And so far, no one seems to know.
Yeah. So I've been pretty careful. I mean, I guess I can't say that I've been pretty careful. I mean, I was not careful at first, right? So I'll just kind of go into that a bit. I was hitting all these launches, right? So I was like really trying to pay attention, grab up, some of the supply or whatever I could. And I got wrecked for sure on like 3 different tokens. All of them, ended up having like an ability to mint or even I got dumped on by the OA actually. So I was holding bullion and like I just got freaking dumped on so hard. But yeah, anyways, like it can happen, right? So you just got to be aware and try to stay safe as you can. Don't ever put too much money in. I mean, and it felt like too much money for me, right? Because I wasted 1 million Pdai on that, right? And that like it hurt my soul when I thought about it. I was like, I'm really gonna be like kicking myself later on when I just like put 1 million Pdai on something and it just like went to nothing because it got minted to 0 or whatever the case may be. But honestly, yeah. So lately, I've been kind of consolidating all of the little Atropa tokens that I bought. I did notice that like they were very like the charts on all these other little ones were like really up and down, and you never really knew which way it was going to go. They didn't have communities or anything like that. So what I did is like I consolidated all of the small tokens that I had, and I bought a shit ton of teddy bear, just because I really saw that had like a big community that was rallying behind it. B Roots is like, big. He's huge. He's going to bring teddy bear to the freaking moon, right? He sees it like he sees sheep. It's going to be $1 billion token meme coin basically. And it can do that, right? It's set up to do exactly that. It's got like a quadrillion supply, just like Sheep does. I mean, it's very reminiscent of that, right? I talked to another guy. He's the #1 holder of Teddy Bear. He's got like 15%. He's got a ton of great plans for Teddy Bear in the future. He's going to be making music videos, doing a bunch of different marketing plays. They're going to be doing giveaways, all types of cool stuff to keep the community involved, to keep the hype rallied around this. And I really honestly see Teddy Bear to like becoming like the #1 token on Pulsechain. Honestly, I really feel like it could be like the biggest thing, like as if, like Sheep was on Ethereum. I really feel like this will be it for basically Pulsechain.
I'm 100% with you. I wasn't when it first came out, even a couple weeks ago, when I was more looking at like TSFI and the legal token and up and down, and Teddy kind of flew under the radar. But I was listening to Moon B Roots and I think Ian, their show that they have over there, and like Moon, he makes a lot of good points with where the coin could go. It's got the logo, it's got the community behind it. It has everything you want for a meme coin, and it had only $3 million in market cap. I think it was last Monday, like almost not even a week ago. So the market cap has 7x since then. And just hearing somebody that he's a true degen at heart, Moon B Roots. He knows, he's been around. He's seen things come and go to zero, go to the moon. And I think, I mean, what's been the biggest winner this year? Pepe came out of nowhere, was a meme coin. The biggest winner last cycle, SHIB, a meme coin. So I think we're starting to see a trend here that utility doesn't matter. And that was the one thing that I really screwed up last cycle, was thinking that, oh God, this utility is going to mean everything. This coin has all these partnerships, and then they're going to build this out, and everyone's going to be using it, and things are going to go to the moon. And it was like, especially with XRP, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was really drinking the Kool-Aid hard, and seeing how that kind of stalled out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm looking at your chart right now. It looks like we're on a dip.
Yeah,
I'm about to go buy some teddy bear right now.
we dipped about 13%. That's
time to buy for me. If it goes over 10% down, I'm buying more. Usually,
yeah. I mean, dude, that's the thing too. Is like the huge red candles are getting bought up immediately. It's not dragging the price down and rolling over and dragging down. They just get bought up. And
I mean, if people are looking for dips, like there's not much chance. So I mean, like you're not going to see anything bigger than a 20% down. No. So I mean, that's why if it's like 12, if you see 12% down in an hour, I mean, I'm probably going to buy some more of that, or at least DCA in.
Yeah, I mean, look at this, was the biggest candle in the last week.
Right.
There was a 20% dip max. And like this is what crypto is. It's speculation. It's memes. It's everyone in a Discord or in Telegram going crazy. How high are we going to go? To $1 to $10? What market cap? That's what drives crypto. And I don't think anything is. I think the degeneracy and the insanity is going to be just as bad this summer. I'm with you. I'm leaning more towards Teddy as being the one, because it just has the ability to get to that next level. It checks all the boxes. And when you have people like Moon B here behind it, I mean, people pay attention. He's got his Shill Tank show. So, I mean, there's nothing else. I mean, I don't see, I mean, yeah, there's going to be stuff that comes out and does well, but I'd rather have my bets on stuff that's kind of established, started to gain traction, and have a whale that's holding 15% that wants to do good for the community, that wants a vision for it. You don't see that often. It's okay, I own this much. How can I get out? And how can I make as much money as possible? And
and so also on top of that, it's like B Roots, right? This whale that's got 15%, right? That guy. And there's also like Hodlonomics, Snowflake Society, basically all the admins in the Pdai community. Those guys are all admins in the teddy bear community, right? These guys have long-term vision, right? Nobody is cheating their bags. Nobody's like, selling and just like looking to trade it or anything like that. Everybody's holding for the long term, right? We're all adding liquidity, right? This is a long-term play for all of us. Nobody's going to be selling anytime before the bull run. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And it's not easy too, because you come into small coins like this, small liquidity, small market caps, you're going to feel like you're always buying the top. And then you're like, oh God, I'm going to wait for the dip. Well, then the dip comes, you don't buy it. Now you really are buying the top. Like, it's never going to be easy for you. And if you do get in early, if you did buy a bag 3 weeks ago, to have been able to hold through and not think, all right, this is it. My profits are gone. It's going to roll over and dump down 60%. So to be able to hold through all this on the way up, you hear the stories of people that bought $100 worth and turned it into $1 million. Well, it was hard as hell. You had to hold through, and you were checking the charts the entire time. Like, it's not easy for anybody in crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, that's one thing I don't worry about it anymore, right? So now that I consolidated a couple of weeks ago into Teddy, holding Teddy, Atropa, and Pdai basically, along with my PRS, obviously, I can sleep well at night. I don't have to worry about the charts. Like if I see a 20% dip, I'm like, oh, that's no big deal. There's nothing really worries me about holding those tokens. The other ones, I mean, those really worry me, like especially the new ones, because I feel like people are just getting in and out of those so quickly, trying to make like a little buck. Like I'll never be that quick, right? I'm not that type of person. I'm not like a really like a fast day trader type of person. I'm better at holding for sure. And I was enticed to try to do that trading stuff, but that's what led me to get wrecked a couple times.
Yeah, bro. It's not easy. Like I have some bags on here that I just like scalp trade with, and if it dumps down 20%, or we get a green candle, maybe trim some off just to have fun and just like keep myself from doing stupid things. I feel like if you just have a little bit in it, you'll be fine. It's always the stuff where you looked at a coin and you didn't throw anything in and it pumps like crazy and you regret it. And it like stays in the back of your mind forever. You're like, if I just bought in,
Mhm.
and and then you get the opposite problem where you spread yourself out too thin. And now it's like, God, I'm losing money because I'm not paying attention. I can't even do this. And you want to consolidate back into a smart course. So crypto
Yeah.
will never be easy for you.
That's exactly what happened. It's like I had all these coins, I was buying all the launches, and I'm like, shit, I need to actually be trading these because like some of them go up and down like crazy. Like couldn't focus. It definitely gave me anxiety, and now I feel super comfy.
Yeah.
Cuddling my teddy bear. I feel comfy cuddling my teddy.
Right. Yeah. And everybody's plan. Everyone's got a different plan. Like what's perfect for you where you sleep at night might be horrible for the next person. And so you never know. So just because, someone's doing something, it doesn't mean it's perfect for you. But typically just packing your bags early and holding, you beat people that are bouncing around in and out, in and out.
So do you want me to send you a couple contract addresses of some of these new tokens?
Yeah. Let's check some of them out. Yeah.
So here's the newest one, I think. Monet Money.
Let's put this. So we got verified PLS. If you want this, I like it. It's the first time using it here.
Oh yeah, nice. So anybody that's not aware, Verified PLS is similar to Token Sniffer, but it's just for Pulsechain. You can go on there and scan contracts for scam risks or any type of red flags. If they have admin keys, locked liquidity, taxes, things like that you want to look at. But yeah, definitely do your own research along with it. I mean, don't always trust. Make sure you verify. VerifyPLS.com is a great resource, but always DYOR.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at Bill Burr coin.
Yeah, so I sent you the Bill Burr one. Yep, that was one of the most recent ones. I mean, Burr.
Ownership renounced. Owner wallet contains less than 6% of the supply. That's hilarious. Bill Burr. Like, what are these little logos? But I don't. Is it like some the east side? Because on the pity is there on the down token, they put some weird logo on there too. I don't know if you had ever seen that one before. All right, it's Bill Burr. This is so funny, and like I have zero clue what any of these, what the point of these is. Monet. The backwards E.
Yeah, I mean, what is that, right?
Is this a reflection?
No, there's no taxes.
I think it's 0. Okay.
So yeah, basically it gives you a thumbs up if the taxes are less than 5%, because I mean it could be a red flag, I guess, if it's higher than that.
Yeah. Interesting. So guys, this is a cool site, verifiedpls.com. If you're looking at like any new project or anything that comes along, meme coin.
Yeah, even brand new, like Monet Money, it's like it just really came out today and it's already there. So the way that this actually works, I'll kind of explain it real quickly. There's a smart contract that basically runs this whole thing, right? So that smart contract goes and scans the whole entire Pulsechain blockchain all the time. And that's where it gets its results.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Annabelle the Prophet.
Yeah. You get these like Korean or like Japanese logos. Well, we need to get Siri to translate these things, or ChatGPT. So I think shout out to Chaos Chris over there. He was saying that one of the tokens came out to like RH's initials.
Yeah, so there's one that's I can send that to you. I think if I
I forget what it was, but it was like.
So there's one. It's an upside down R and then a Korean symbol for an H.
Yeah, I don't think those are gonna be on Dex. Well, actually, you know what? Probably with Atropa.
Here, I'm sending you the link right now, or the address.
Here we go. So we have KE here, Fane. Here we go. Jesus.
Now you got to be aware. So not all of these are going to be the 414 wallet. So some people have made tokens and paired them to Atropa. So we got to be aware of that.
Yeah, that's what you need to be very careful of, because that you're thinking, all right, I'm going to buy one coin, and your mouse slips up and you click the wrong contract there by accident. That's all it takes for you to fall for a honeypot or one of these scam projects. You got to be very careful.
So yeah, the contract address that I just sent you is going to be the RH in Korean or whatever.
Okay.
And that's a token that's, I think it's really similar to Atropa. Honestly, it's got a big web of coins connected to it, like a lot of the like the Japanese symbols and things like that are like, there's like a web right connected to it, kind of similar to Atropa. It has a big market or big liquidity, just like Atropa does.
Oh my God, $131,000 in liquidity with this coin RH and upside down RH, and then God knows what this is.
So I think that's the first workbook, I'm pretty sure. So that's going to be, it's not just two symbols. There's actually four, but that's like the token symbol. And it stands for first workbook, which, I don't know what that means, but
we need ChatGPT to really work some magic on these coins.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny though. I'm like learning Chinese now. I can pretty much I've memorized a few of these already.
Is it Chinese or is it Korean?
So the H is Korean, right? But some of these symbols are Chinese, Japanese, Maldivian languages, Thai, all types of different languages.
Yeah, so this looks almost like freaking Russian or Greek or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an Atropa created token for sure. I do know that.
2C5F.
Like, what is that? Right.
I don't know, but it's going up and to the right.
Right. Yeah, that's what I do know. Yeah.
I mean, so when do you think Pdai's? Where do you see it ending up in the future?
Yes, I mean, one of my ideas, like with what's going on with all these side projects, I feel like they're like rings of liquidity, right? And I think Cycle Watcher was somebody that kind of put this into perspective a bit for me. I think he thinks of these like these webs, right, that have interconnected coins and things like that all around Pdai. It's kind of like rings on a tree, right? The older the tree grows, the thicker the rings go outside. Like the stronger the tree is, right? And so that was kind of his analogy. So in terms of like these tokens, right, they are all kind of like filling up in terms of their liquidity. And I'm thinking, and this is kind of just a speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of these tokens that were basically being used as like rings of liquidity around Pdai either get like sold off or dumped or used in some way to basically backstop or funnel funds or liquidity into Pdai later on when we really need it. Because I think it's like part of the game, right? How the liquidity in Pdai is kind of low, it helps the price go up, right? It does help the price go down too. It's more volatile, but I think the idea is that people are going to be buying into it. Price goes up easier, and then later on, all these different rings of liquidity can be basically siphoned down into the main, right, into the Atropa or Pdai, and basically support all of the people that may be exiting and coming in, and all these things that are going to be happening. So that's just an idea, and I'm not really locked into that idea, of course, because I could be wrong. But it's just something that I've been thinking about, and something that's just made me kind of stick more close to home when it comes to venturing out into the Atropa web.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I feel similar to that all these coins just coming out of nowhere, no one really knowing what they're, if there's any use for them at all.
Right. So like at first, like remember we were all speculating on, oh, T-share finance, like, oh, like this could be this could be a staking protocol, this could be loans or something. We had an idea like what something could be. And then now that we have 50 tokens, that's freaking out the door, right? There is no T-share finance. There is no, these are not something that they're going to, I mean, maybe some of the main ones may be, right? I'm not going to say they're never, but like there's just too many tokens to like have something for every one of them, right? There's 50 different things. Like there's not going to be some protocol for all these different tokens. There may be for some that could be great, and I would love to see that. But I'm really kind of thinking that these, all these coins that come out every day, they're going to be put to use later on when Pdai really needs a lot of liquidity to be shuffled in there. The OA, the 414 is going to be, I'm guessing, dumping or removing liquidity and adding to Pdai probably.
Yeah, and that's I kind of feel like that's what these other coins are being used for. Is they're like just like the rings of liquidity where they can kind of funnel them in and boost kind of everything with them, where you don't necessarily have to be in that one main pairing when you have all these little rings outside that are working and contributing. It's like all the wheels start spinning, and it's just like a boost to the whole system.
Yeah, it's creating, so all these different pairs, what it's been doing, and I've been listening in Sunny's pub, right? So I can give him a little mention here. He's got some good ideas about like these rings of liquidity and how they allow for more arbitrage to happen, right? The more liquidity pools there are, the more the bots can kind of work their ways in between and leave little bits of liquidity inside the pools, right? So because of like the portion that they leave behind. So basically kind of just builds up these liquidity pools over time, build them up, and get them to the point where they have enough basically to support this Pdai to $1 theory.
Yep. Yeah. And I liked it too, that as a lot, I thought at first with the supply at almost 22 billion and the collateralization rate on Maker at like 162%, not saying that that's not possible, but now this could be these little they could be what's used instead of backing it with real world assets and stuff. You could have all these different liquidity pools that somehow end up backing or wrap BTC or something being used as collateralization for the peg.
Yeah, we've definitely seen the WBTC come into play recently, right? So the 414 wallet in just the past few days has actually been adding liquidity pairs with WBTC in these Atropa coins. Specifically Down. I think Down has a really fat liquidity pool with WBTC right now, and maybe Teddy Bear as well.
Yeah, and that's small. I think the wrap BTC, that's what's there, 150,000 coins. The supply is tiny. And the ability to pump the price of that and the potential marketing that could come from that, if it hits $1,000, if it hits $5,000, 10 grand, if it reaches parity, if it ever is worth more than the real Bitcoin, could you imagine the like shit show that would create?
Right. Yeah.
So there's so many different catalysts and different marketing narratives and potentials, just even bringing all these blue chips up to peg, the blue SHIB and Chainlink and Uniswap. You get one coin up to parity. Now you have a huge brag that can go viral on social media. And then you have 200 more coins you can do that to. And I just feel like Richard, he knows that. And somewhere in his plans, he has to inject liquidity or bring some of these blue chips or something up to parity for attention.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's the plan for sure. That's why the airdrop was given out. I mean, I think the whole plan is to basically bring these pairs up to, their equivalent on the Ethereum side and basically take, people's liquidity from over in Ethereum when they're bridging over their coins. They want to pair them up. I think that's just going to be what's essential to, the whole basically ecosystem flowing the way that it's supposed to, and bringing all the people from Ethereum over here. Right now, they can all become whales in their favorite, Ethereum tokens,
Yeah, and the playground is so much bigger over here with all that's going on. Is this stuff on Ethereum? Do we see these type of bots running on ETH?
So, yeah. So, I mean, arbitrage bots are everywhere. but we can't really say if there's other bots like specifically for Atropa and things like that. Like, I'm not going to say if I know that for sure or not. But I know that, Ethereum, there's arbitrage bots all the time that, provide liquidity, or not provide liquidity, but, provide volume through different pairs. And I know that that's what's happening over here, but I'm not really sure. I'm just guessing that there's got to be some kind of network of intelligence, right? Some kind of bots that are moving things around for Atropa. I'm just not 100% sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if many of us are. I know we see a lot of arbitrage happening, a lot of bot activity, but I'm not really sure what's being done or happening with all of that.
Yeah. One of the like tinfoil theory hats that I had was that this was something that was on the XRP ledger, and with the stuff that like David Schwartz is trying to build with those open source decentralized liquidity pools over there, that this might have been something over there that didn't work, or something that, I don't know, that was a developer that wasn't happy on the XRP ledger and knew what was going on over there and saw an opportunity over here. I don't know. I'll just try so many things get thrown out there.
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
They would have had to been really early on that idea, though, because Atropa was on testnet back in like 2021 in September, right? So that's like some incredible thing, right? Not many people were on testnet back then, I don't think.
Yeah,
messing with coins and launching projects on testnet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Richard too, like, you could take some of his clips out of context. You could take a 10-second clip of a stream and take it out of context. But when he's saying, I talk to people that are building some wild shit on Pulsechain, stuff that you can't even imagine. Like that, those videos were what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah,
like, how much has happened since then?
He's basically letting us know already. There's definitely a MakerDAO replacement, right? So Dai's not going to work the same. He said it in like 100 different videos that Dai's going to be broken when Pulsechain launched. That's going to happen. It's broken, right? Yep. But I think that he already knew that there was going to be a fix, right? The fix was in, right? We'll
he knew it because he said, "I will do it if it doesn't work. I will do it,
right?
If I have to, as like if it needs to be done, I will do it." So that makes me think he knows other people are already taking care of it, and it's something he doesn't even have to do. And with the SEC right now, I think the last thing Richard Hart would need is him being tied to some kind of stable coin, and even worse, like a potential algorithmic stable coin.
Yeah, and that's just the beauty of this whole anonymity thing, right? Because nobody's ever going to be connected to it. Nobody needs to ever be connected to it. There doesn't really need to be any other, like with these other projects, there doesn't need to be anything else that happens with them, right? All we really need is for Dai to go to $1, become a decentralized stablecoin, something that to be there to support it, right? Which is Atropa and the whole ecosystem, and then everything else on Pulsechain can thrive after that.
Yeah, and that's I think the stablecoin, that's the one thing that we need more than anything else. Clearly, Circle, Tether, they're already the CBDCs. I tell people that now, that I hear all the time. They're so scared of CBDCs coming and their privacy. It's like, bro, what can you do with your bank now that's not tracked, that can't be shut down? And with USDC and Tether, they are the DOJ's best friend. They can just shut down any wallet they want. That's not DeFi.
Yeah, that's not a future that I'm really looking forward to.
No. And this is the only alternative out there that I see. Optimism is not decentralized. Arbitrum is not decentralized. Half these layer 2s aren't decentralized. They have admin keys.
Yeah.
And I was watching one of Ivan's streams maybe a month or so ago, and he was talking about exactly that it's going to come to a point in the future with either regulation or just natural evolution that you're going to either have to admit you have admin keys or fork and burn them. Because a lot of these projects here, like we saw it with Oasis and the Jump protocol, they got hacked over there and they ended up getting sued in a European court, and the judge made them look for admin keys. And what do you know? They mysteriously found admin keys and were able to create a new wallet and take control of the hacked funds. And this was on Maker, supposedly a decentralized protocol, and it's not. And when you see the shit that happened with the founder, it's a complete nightmare. So I think moving forward, we might have to get used to there's not going to be a team. Like this is Pulsechain. We're real DeFi. We don't need docs teams. The code speaks for itself. The on-chain evidence, that's more important.
Right. No, 100%. We're gonna be able to see, with our own eyes how this all plays out, right? And so as time goes on, these things are only going to get more trustworthy and bring the adoption that way.
Yeah. And I think that it kind of sucks to see people not adapting and welcoming new projects. It's like Pulsechain was here. We need new projects to come and build for us to grow. It's like, so what are you going to be the one that decides what's good or bad for the chain? Like at what point is it just not cool to talk shit on anything new that comes because you don't like it or it doesn't fit this narrative or you heard something? It's like, people need to change or it's not going to be good.
You got to think of it in terms like this. So, I mean, everybody that's over here or that came over here, right, during the sacrifice, all followers of Richard, right, mostly probably HEX holders and stakers. But they were taught by Richard always, like, this is all you need, right? This is, just follow me, take my advice, buy my coin, right, and hold it. And that'll be what does you well. And then, Richard starts Pulsechain, right? And all these people were never like Ethereum maxis or anything like that. They weren't like L1 maxis. They were Richard Heart maxis, right? And so they come over to Pulsechain and they're like, okay, we got this Pulsechain, yay! We got our HEX, yay! And then like new things start launching. Like let's say Pulse Reflections, right? Pulse Reflections launched just a few weeks after Pulsechain launched, and we got a lot of pushback from the community because, and then just in my mind, I think they wanted everybody to buy into what they were holding, right? They don't want people to sell off what they had, PLS or HEX or whatever it may be, and buy other things that are scary, right? Other things are scary. If they're not Richard Heart related, they're scary. And so that was kind of something that I had noticed with PRS. And now over time, right, obviously people are talking about us more. We've got a larger community. Green candles, price go up, it makes people pay attention, right? And so now we're not so much, a scary thing. People are, given the respect, I guess, that's due.
Yeah. And that's I think people are already almost like, they're almost jaded when they look at new things. They almost look at it like it's a scam until proven differently, when it needs to be the other way. Look at it like it's a good project until we're shown otherwise. I think that's the problem right now, is if it's not HEX or Pulsechain or one of the four, it's not good. And that's not the attitude we need to bring people over, bring developers, even to like just have a community. The discussion, that's why I really like the Pdai stuff, the conversations in the Twitter spaces. Everyone's welcoming, they're open discussions. It's not just like bashing back and forth and just people rate, like in some of the Zen chats. I can't even go in there because there's just people are crazy. And I like how the community is actually respectful and welcoming, and people have conversations, whether they're against something, for it, they're talking, and that's what we need.
Yeah, I mean, we're all just learning too, right? None of us have the answers, and honestly, we're looking for people that are smarter than us to come and shed some light on things too, right?
Yeah, seriously. Like, yeah, if it wasn't for people that were actually do on-chain forensics and look at code and actually are developers that can tell us what the hell's going on, I'd be freaking worthless out here. That's not my cup of tea.
Right. Yeah, no, same here.
But it's exciting. It's fun. Like there's nothing else going on. Look, I mean, all other ecosystems. I mean, ApeCoin's leading the charge. I mean, that's how bad it is out there.
Yeah. So what are we looking at here? Is this like Ethereum?
So this is the top 100, the cryptobubbles.net. It just shows the top 100, and if it's up for the day, it's green. If it's down for the day, it's red. And Pulse and PulseX have drifted out of the top 100. They're in the top now. Yeah.
So how many? What's like? Is it based on market cap, volume?
Market cap. Yep. You can do the top like 1,000 if you want to be a huge degen. But I just like to go just the top 100 to see what's going on. And then, like if you look at like the hourly and the daily sometimes to see what's bounced. Like right now in the last hour, HEX is bouncing the hardest.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So it's just cool. I like to look at it just to see what's going on.
People are using their Atropa gains to buy HEX, I guess.
Well, I think a lot of people are expecting Pulse and PulseX to do these hundreds of X's, and people are going to be shocked when HEX they all do the same.
Same amount of X's, you think? Yeah.
I think HEX, Pulse, PulseX, they're all going to do very similar from the bottom. I think they're going to pump at different times during the cycle. So you're going to need to be taking profits and scaling out of certain ones and really watching the ratios of Pulse to PulseX and eHEX to PHEX. And a lot of people are going to get caught off guard. They're going to get stuck holding bags that are just declining or didn't get to where they thought.
Right. No, yeah, I mean, HEX has always been on my watch list for sure. And I mean, it does seem like a good price to buy it at now.
Well, I mean, if there ever was a time, I mean, I just bought some more a week or so ago. But like, it's Richard's baby. Like, he's not going to let HEX go to zero. I could say, if anything, I could see him saying, look, who else has a coin that did 10,000x in 2 cycles? Me. Like, it's got the potential biggest flex ever in the future.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely.
So,
and that just proves the point, right? Like, there's going to be these 85-90% corrections in crypto, right? And this is just going to prove that fact that, the holders are the ones who win in the end, right?
Exactly, bro. Long-term mentality always wins. And you said it earlier, like, you start messing around, trying to short-term trade, buying all these bags, and you lost out on a shitload of Dai, and you look back and say, what the hell did I do that for?
Yeah, I mean, when Dai's $1, I'm like really gonna be sick about that for maybe a couple days, but hopefully I'll get over it quick.
Yeah, but these are the mistakes you have to make to learn. And for people out there like that are struggling or feel like, God, crypto's so hard. It's like that for all of us. Like, every time I buy something, I feel like it's gonna dump. Every time I sell something, I feel like it's gonna pump immediately.
Yeah. Oh my God, I tested that theory too. I was like, so when I was playing with Teddy Bear, just getting in, I think I had like $5,000 or $6,000 of it, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna test something, right? I'm gonna sell all of it and just see what happens. And so I sold it because it was near the top. So I sold it, and then immediately, like not even 2 minutes later, like it gets bought right back up, right? So I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to let this happen. I put it right back in. I think I did lose like $100 maybe, but like I learned a lesson there, right? So like I was like, okay, not touching it. I'm not going to play these games.
It's not, is it worth that potential like 10% when
No.
Yeah.
Not to lose your position, no.
Because the dips are getting bought up so fast in all the coins, and that to me is a really bullish sign. Is when the dips aren't dragging out for 2, 3, 4 days. They get bought and back up. They start trending sideways and then pop.
Yep. Yeah, and so I mean, honestly, even on PRS, we had like a huge dip, right? So we did this massive run up, and I think now that we're tied to Atropa now, so. I think that we have these arbitrage bots coming in between our Atropa pair and the PLS pair. If you go ahead and look, see that big red line down to the right? Yeah, yep. It was a huge dip, and it just went right back up.
Yeah. Because look at this dip here. It took almost days before it started pumping back up. And this was 3.5.
Yeah, so with the arbitrage there, right? So if somebody dumps the price on one of the charts, those arbitrage bots through Atropa, they come in right away and they see that they eat it up.
Well, I love it. I noticed, like I said earlier, with Zen Classic, I think, did Frax shares get a pair too? Because I was looking at the chart of this, I was like, all right, this chart now looks like Pdai and Atropa. Okay, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, Frax is tied to Pdai.
And now all these, every one of them, was there 380 pairs now with Atropa?
Yeah.
So all the charts are going to look similar now. Like Hart's Law is happening right in front of our faces with the charts. Charts Law.
I think he's trying to show us something.
It's Charts Law now.
Charts Law, that's right. Oh my God.
Oh man. All right, well, I've been pretty much going an hour. We had, I think, that's a good point to cut it off here. Definitely some good stuff tonight. I mean, this mystery, the pegging, the whatever you want to call it, it's never going to stop. And I've been watching some of the waters above and some of the gematria stuff, and I really think that the mid-October is when we're going to start to see the bear market end. So about 1 month from now. So guys, it's going to come quick, and we're going to look back and say, damn, I wish we still had those prices.
I know. Yeah, no, that's why, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable now. I'm happy to say that, honestly. I mean, if you don't feel good with what you're holding, definitely buy whatever you've been looking at, because these prices don't last long. I mean, there's not going to be these huge dips like you're thinking. We're just pre-bull, right? So once we get to that point, it's just like literally off to the races. You're not going to see another 80% dip in most of these tokens.
Yeah, hey, like Teddy Bear just did. Well, the liquidity went from 3 million to 21 million in less than a week, and this is the bear market. Like, I don't see it just dumping back down the other way. Like Pulsechain, it can't really dump anymore. Like Pulse is at rock bottom. We get a little pump in Pulsechain, all these coins are going to just pump naturally.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to get exciting, guys. If you're here now, you are in the right place. Don't sell out of your bags. Don't do dumb shit. Don't go chasing little things left, that people tell you about. Just be smart. Get your core coins. And then if you have those packed, then you can maybe do the dumb shit. But I hate hearing people getting wrecked and buying the wrong contract or just not paying attention. Or the worst, just ask somebody. There's so many people in this community that you could reach out to. Ask if you have a question, a problem, and they will point you in the right direction if they can't help you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean, definitely just get your positions. I'm set, but yeah, I would just highly recommend anybody go grab some pulse reflections. I mean, I'm buying more teddy bear every day with my reward money. It's really just multiplying my bags every day. It's a nice thing. And it's not going anywhere, you guys, right? We're at like 1 million market cap right now. Lots of room to run.
Yeah. And like you're saying, there's right now is the community it's quiet. There's, people will come, the bull market, things will pick up. And these are the times you want to get in when nobody's talking about it. Is the best time. It's the hardest thing to do is you buy into a coin. You're like, oh, I bought this. I know it's not going anywhere, but the other coin I was looking at started pumping. Like, you're never going to catch everything. You're never going to feel like you win in everything, but make the smart moves, buy stuff when you're early, and your future self will thank you for the most part.
Definitely. Yeah, thanks for having me on here, man. This was really fun.
Yeah, Zach, appreciate you coming on. And guys, if you're not following Zach, go check him out. ZACA313 on Twitter. And are you doing a space tonight?
Yeah. So we're going to run a spaces at 11 o'clock tonight. So in about 30 minutes.
Awesome. Well, I will be in there for sure. And guys, if you're not following Zach, go do that. Space tonight at 11 o'clock p.m.
Yes.
11:30.
No, yeah, 11 p.m. It'll be 30 minutes from now.
Awesome. So awesome, guys. Well, we will see you in there. Zach, appreciate you coming on. And we'll hopefully we'll do it again.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon.